So let's shift to this understanding and idea of the intergenerational divide. Do you feel that there's a disconnect between the pioneers of hip hop and today's younger artists? And what do you think caused that gap, if there is a gap?
Oh
And
yeah, there's a gap. There's definitely a gap. Um, it's weird because when you had emailed me the other day, I thought about a long time ago. There was an artist that is from a very big hip hop group. They're a very revolutionary hip
okay.
hop group. And when I was a kid, like they were one of those groups that you know, like they were just wow, and they just brought this noise that no one could understand. And I remember we were at a venue one time, and the front man of that group was talking to people in the venue about changes coming in hip hop,
Mhm.
and he was talking about um, the effects that he was seeing play out in hip hop with my generation. And it's weird. I don't know if he was directly looking at me when he had said what he said, but it looked like he was looking right at me.
Wow.
And he was saying something, along the lines of, like I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, don't become part of the machine. And it's it's weird to me because when I think back about that night, and I see him in my head saying that from the stage and like looking at me, and I'm like, he was trying so hard to tell me to pay attention, to watch what was going on,
Right. He saw it.
and to not get, I guess, wrapped up in that cocoon of what the machine was starting to make hip hop. And I remember at that time, young me was like, I don't want to say arrogant about it, but I just was not at all concerned with the message. And I say that as to say, I think that you always have in music in general, in every genre, that moment in time where there's this era that's making its way out of the court, and there's this era that's coming into the court. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that we as artists made during our time of entering was we allowed the industry to program us more towards competition.
Yes. I get you.
And
That's a very good point.
and the reason I say that is because our era was like the first mega millions era of hip hop. Like no artist was seeing the amounts of money that we were seeing at that time. I mean, we were on an independent label, and I had like an open book budget, which was unheard of, you
Yeah.
know. So
I call it the golden era of hip hop.
yeah,
It was.
and because it was making so much money, it became very competitive, and the people, the executives, they knew that. And I think it was even so mind blowing to them that the music was able to generate that much revenue that fast, that consistently. So we allowed all the spoils of war to get in the way of long term vision and long term responsibility. And we also allowed ourselves to kind of be maneuvered into a place where you don't even consider those responsibilities. So I think just the natural order of things when you have the old guard and the new guard, I think that played out the way that it always does. But I also think that now in hindsight, being older, being able to kind of look through things with a different lens, you can see how, it was so critical for us to realize that it's like the Spider-Man movie when his uncle tells him he's like, with great power comes great responsibility.